lecture series. This is Muthuminal R, Assistant Professor from the Department of Agricultural Engineering at SNS College of Technology. Today we'll see the continuity of the previous topic under the unit Introduction to Disasters. The topic is Risk Assessment and Management for the students of final year 7th semester under the subject Disaster Management for the students of Agricultural Engineering. Before going into the session, let us have a small recap on what we have seen at the previous series. We have seen what is disaster, what would be the impact of disaster under agricultural field. Today we'll see how this risk can be reduced, because we have concluded that as a engineer we have to take up charge in reducing the risk reduction factor. So in that regard, we have to be clear what is risk, how we can assess them, and how we can manage them. So the main key concept under risk management are four. The first one is the identification and evaluating the risk based on their probability and their potential impact. After assessing them, what we have to do in the sense, we have to predict whether that risk could be positive or negative impact over our consideration. If it is under positive, then it will not reduce the likelihood. If it is under negative impact, what we have to do in the sense, we have to take measures to reduce the likelihood or the consequences of the identified risk. Then also we have to take up measure to record all these data in a comprehensive log, so that we can avoid future impacts that could happen if this prevails again. Some of the types of risk are compliance risk, legal risk, strategic risk, operational risk, and reputational risk. Here what we have to do in the sense, if the risk hazard happens, we have to classify these kinds of risk under these five categories, so that we can identify what is going to be the potential source of harm, and then we can eradicate that to happen a major cause. So in order to do so, what we have to do initially in the sense, we have to assess the risk that could happen, and then we have to manage the uncertainty within the project or the organization. Then we have to also analyze which could be affected and the nature of the potential consequences, along with the severity that could happen, that is the probability and the impact matrix to prioritize based on likelihood and the potential damage. Record all the findings. We have to assess the results and initial safety measures for the control plans. This could obviously monitor the risk and update the assessment to reflect the changing condition and the new information. The four main risk mitigation strategies are avoidance, reduction, transference, and acceptance. We have to make sure that if there is a possibility of eliminating the risk source or the activity, we can prevent its occurrence. If that is not possible, we have to implement certain controls to lower the probability or minimize the impact that could happen at the near future. If these two have been taken into consideration, then we have to shift the financial and the operational burden of a risk to third party, like through insurance. Then we can acknowledge the risk, prepare the contingency plan if it is materializes, accepting the remaining impact. This is the main risk mitigation strategies, because if we have assessed and if we have find out what are the sources of these kinds of risk, then we have to take some measures to mitigate them also. So in order to do so, these four risk mitigation strategies are made, and among which the initial two stages play a major role. That is, we have to take up previous measures before pre-disaster, that if there is a possibility, what are the steps that has to be taken for us to avoid the impact that could happen at the occurrence of disaster. If that has been taken care of, obviously the burden that is going to happen for us to recover from the risk that happened will be reduced, and also the implementation of occurrence of probability could be also reduced or minimized. Some of the tools and techniques are probability impact heat maps, interactive risk matrices, visual risk rejectors, scenario simulations, and color coded themes. Because we all do know that we have to, after analyze and accessing the data, we have to record those kinds of data in a document or a comprehensive log. In order to do so, what will happen in the sense, if there is a possibility of occurrence of this risk again, we can take up measures from the previously available data. So this kind of impact maps and risk matrices will be helpful for us to visualize the risk levels with the zone that reveal detailed information upon interaction. For example, we all do know that initially the map was available as a clay model, and then it has been converted with the help of latitude and longitude, and then it has been converted into a specific location map while considering a cholera. So this has been done by John Snow. That professor has done this cholera map during 1960s. What we have done in the sense, he have particularly localized every person who has been affected with the cholera, and that affected people and cured people has been mapped as a location. So here, after this has happened, what he has done in the sense, he has used this map so that he can identify who are the potential risk persons who is going to be affected by the cholera at the near future, so that he can take some precaution measures to avoid the cholera to happen. So this is a certain example where we can probably check the impact of certain disasters that will happen at the near future with the localized data. So this will help us to visualize the risk levels, and also we can interact with the current and the target risk position, allowing the users to simulate the changes and observe the outcomes. After visualizing the dynamic logs, we can also interact them, and the effect of different mitigation strategies could also be identified. Then we can predict them under several color coded themes to highlight the risk severity, guiding immediate attention to the critical areas. Some of the example of interactive risk images are given here as at this image. Here the dynamic risk matrix allowing the users to adjust the risk factors and see the immediate changes, and then the clickable flow charts will help you to illustrate the risk treatment, animated dashboards tracking real-time risk status and mitigation processes. Interactive maps will show you the geographic risk distribution with zoom and filter options, and also the storytelling with custom icons and infographics for enhanced stakeholder engagement. These are some things that we have seen today. What we have seen in the sense, if the disaster happens, what we have to do, we have to identify the risk, effects of the risk, and then we have to make them into certain strategies to avoid the risk through mitigation strategies, enhance the communication through creating comprehensive logs, and we have to try to adapt to them. This is what I have prepared for today's class. If you guys have any kind of doubt or anything, you guys can come and meet me anytime and ping me with the questions. See you at the next class. Thank you.